Welcome back. We're talking with veteran Israeli politician and Nobel Peace Prize winner Shimon Peres. Mr. Peres, tell me about your time on the kibbutz, because I think that was a time in your life you always said, you'd rather have been a farmer than a politician.
So I was early in the morning dreaming and sitting, and I felt like a totally free person, alone. I must say, while the lambs behave, the cows did not. When the flies started to bite them, they started to run away like crazy. And I knew that I cannot come back to my kibbutz missing one cow. That would be the end of my career. I think that was the first lessons of leadership I got in my life.
Chasing
to see the baby of the cows and keep them together.
So at what point did the true militancy and the fight to try and create a nation come up? At what point did it change for you?
I was called from the kibbutz to serve in the Haganah.
The early stages of the military?
Early stage, yes. It was a year before the War of Independence in 1947. And there I became very close to Ben-Gurion, the founder of our state. And then I worked with him for 18 years.
He became your mentor, effectively?
Yes. And finally appointed me as his deputy. He was Prime Minister and Minister of Defense. I was his deputy for the defense. I was a rather young man, 28, 29, and actually let me run the army and the defense. And I knew that from him I learned several things. Number one, the highest degree of wisdom is the moral call. If you want to be wise, be moral. Don't depart from it. It's foolish. The other one, you can make as many mistakes as you want, particularly if you try to do daring things, don't worry. But there is one thing that you should never do, never lie. If you lie, that's the end of the work with Ben-Gurion. If you dare, okay, go ahead. So I committed as many mistakes I could, but I avoided one mistake, and that is departing from the truth. And they let me do practically everything I have had on my mind and the imagination. He was a genius, a man of great culture, tremendous character, an unbelievable memory. He has all the faculties of an intellect, but the one. He was never in doubt.
Now that was a defining moment for you, getting into politics and into a very sort of strong and powerful career early on.
Yes.
Another defining moment was, of course, when you hammered out the Oslo Accords in
Yes.
1993,
Yes.
and then got the Nobel Peace Prize with Yitzhak and Yasser Arafat in
Yes.
94.
Yes.
Looking back on that, do you think that award was made on what was really an optimism that was unfulfilled?
No, I think we did the right thing. Look, at the beginning, we have had what is being called the Jordanian option. We thought that we can make it in a trio, Jordan, the Palestinians, and us. And they have negotiated with King Hussein, late King Hussein. We reached an agreement in London. It's known as the London Agreement. I think this was the best agreement for the Jordanians, the Palestinians, and us. But when I came home, I was then as Deputy Prime Minister. The Prime Minister was Mr. Shamir. He didn't like it, and he torpedoed it, and it fell to pieces. The minute the Jordanian option disappeared, we have had the Palestinian option. Concerning the Palestinians, we could go either with Fatah or Hamas. Clearly, the choice was to go with Fatah. Now, all our Arab experts, warned me, and I says, look, I don't need your advice, because I don't know what an Arab is. I don't know what a Jew is. I know what a human being is. I'm not going to negotiate with the Palestinians because they're Arabs. I'm going to negotiate with them because they're human beings like myself. And I think that was probably part of the secret that we could have reached an agreement. I didn't feel that I have to behave with them differently because they are Muslims or Arabs. And we negotiated, spent days and nights of negotiations with Arafat, who is not a simple passenger.
How was your relationship with him?
Very good. I liked him, in spite of his zigzagging and changing of moods. He was a rare combination of a child that was all the time dreaming and imaginating. On the other hand, he was mature and wise. I mean, like a child, he dreamed that he's a prophet, that he's a general, that he's a statesman, everything. He says, I'm the only general that never lost a war in my life. Okay, I could swallow it, I didn't care. On the other hand, he was down to earth, and he could have been very charming. He has also a very good memory, but he tended to remember all the names and forget all the facts. The facts were inconvenient for him, so he put them aside. But he remembered birthdays and relatives, unbelievable. And I knew there is one rule with him, which I was careful to follow. Never criticize him in the face of anybody else. You will insult him. He will never forgive you. But when there are the two of you, don't save words. You can attack him fully and he will take it.
One thing I was going to look at you as, your legacy, as people sort of judge you. And it was interesting reading some mixed reviews, and one article, for example, described you as an unusual blend of visionary dreamer, but also a ruthless wheeler dealer. And they were saying that on the, the international scene, you're seen as that visionary, but sometimes people at home in Israel see you as the wheeler dealer. Does that surprise you? They see you like that?
No, because since I didn't go step in step with them, so I'm a wheeler dealer. The difference between ridiculous and supreme is very thin. You can explain it both ways. Now, if the journalist is hungry, I'm a wheeler dealer. If he's in a better mood, I'm a visionary. And also from a very early age, I took a decision, and that is that nobody can insult me but upon my own choice. I'm not a free agent, so I don't care what people say. I knew deep in my heart that I'm honest, that I'm serving a cause, that I don't have to submit to conventions, and not lose my spirit because some people criticize me. If you are not being criticized, it means you do nothing.
Now, as you build a legacy, and as people decide how they're going to judge Shimon Peres, you're at a time when the peace process really is stagnating. There's more difficulties than many could have imagined. There's a wall being built, separating Israelis and Palestinians. Do you feel it's the kind of legacy you would want to see in your history as a political player?
No, I think the wall is a passing phenomenon. It will fall to pieces very soon. And in the meantime, we made peace with Egypt. Our government started a peace with Egypt. We made peace with Jordan. We recognized the Palestinians, which in my eyes is a courageous move. The West Bank was under the Jordanian rule. Gaza was under the Egyptian rule. They never gave them independence. We are the first to recognize the Palestinian people and promise them a Palestinian state. And I think we did it honestly, because we think that if they won't have a state, our state will always be in troubles. So better let's have two states, remembering there are two things that you cannot change in your life, parents and neighbors. And the better the neighbors are having, better neighbors you have.
Is there anything in your life that you would love to have achieved, something you might have done personally even, that you haven't had a chance to up to now?
Yes, I would like to be a poet. I couldn't do it. I would like to be an architect. I couldn't do it. Either because short of talent or short of time. But when I was young, that was my great dream, either to build out of words or to build out of material. I think building is the greatest thing in life.
Every time I bump into you, you're going at 100 miles an hour. I'm glad we had a chance to actually get some time with you this time to pin you down.
Time is the most scarce commodity you have. Be careful.
What about your family, spending time with them?
First of all, my family forgives me, to their credit. And secondly, my wife is really the one that has educated our children. She did a great job. And all of them are very tolerant to me. A very fine family life. I am trying to do to my children what my parents did to me. Not to control them. Let them run. We have 3 children, and it looks like each of them was born in a different world. The oldest is a girl. She's very intellectual. She's psycholinguistic. Then we have a middle boy who likes nature and flowers and trees, and he is now opened a clinic for animals on his own. And we have the youngest who went to the army, became a pilot, and then he opened, as young people do today, a venture capital that became the largest in the country. They have children, they are happy, and each of them is going his own road. Nobody was ordered by his parents to do differently.
How would you like to be remembered, Mr. Peres?
I don't think I can be remembered. You know, there is so much to be remembered. I would like that before my last day in my life, I shall be able to make an account and say, look, you saved so many children, you saved so many men, and then I can pass over quietly and satisfied. I think to save life is the greatest achievement in life, and the rest is less important.
I wish you luck in that, sir. Thank you very much for talking with us.
Thank you.